We're talking cybersecurity today with Danny Palmer here for ZDNet. And Danny, ransomware, of course, the one thing we've really been focusing on these last couple of weeks. And the question many are asking now, of course, after seeing all of these high profile attacks is, does it make sense for a company to just pay the ransom? I mean, there's a discussion to be had on both sides of the coin here.
It's a self-perpetuating cycle, really, because the more victims pay ransoms, the more the cyber criminals and ransomware gangs are taking notice, going, hey, look, we can make money from this. It's gone from being, 5 years ago, ransomware was, give us $300 and we'll give we'll give your files back. Now you've got ransom demands which regularly reach into the tens of millions of dollars. I mean, the high-profile case of JBS, which paid $11 million in Bitcoin in order to get the decryption key, that just shows that the cyber criminals, that ransomware works. And recent research showed that a survey of IT professionals and security professionals said that 6 in 10 organizations would consider paying the ransom, which is an extremely high proportion when you think about it of these attacks. I mean, that's consider, but the problem is with this, paying the ransom, it kind of shows that you're willing to pay up. And there have been cases where organizations have paid the ransom for the decryption key, think everything's going to be fine. Then the same ransomware attackers have come back and encrypted them with more ransomware. You ultimately, you're paying criminals here, and you can't really trust the word of criminals. And but it works. The cycle is working for cyber criminals. They are getting paid by this, so it just keeps happening.
Yeah, and it's understandable. If the criminals, getting their reward, what they want, they're going to continue to do this. And Danny, it's so frustrating for companies that are in this position because they just want quickly to gain back control of their systems. And it's easy to see why in many cases they say, at this point, we're better off if we just pay it and move forward.
Yes, some companies see it as the least costly answer to the problem. We had the Colonial Pipeline attack in the US, and they paid $5 million in Bitcoin for the decryption key. They had taken a decision, it seems, that we will lose more than this. And obviously that had an impact in, for want of a better term, the real world as well, where the attack meant that gasoline supplies for a lot of the northeastern seaboard in the United States were affected. But there's also a problem here as well, even if you pay the ransom and you get the decryption key, which authorities like the US government, UK government, many Western European governments included as well, say do not pay the ransom because it encourages this activity. But organizations pay that and think, well, it's not some sort of silver bullet for your woes. It takes time for this to work. The Irish healthcare service was hit by a ransomware attack in May, so we're talking about 6 weeks ago now, and they didn't pay the ransom. The attackers actually ended up giving them the decryption key for free, though they still say if they do not receive $20 million at some point, they will publish a bunch of private health data, which is a whole nother problem. The Irish Health Service has said it will not pay that ransom, but they have got the decryption tool. But it's because of the amount of work it needs to go through all these systems and fix everything and make sure everything's running as normal, making sure there's no sort of vulnerabilities left in the network, making sure there's no remnants of malware. It's taking weeks and weeks and weeks, and it could bleed into months even. And this is affecting the Irish healthcare service. There are appointments being cancelled. Hospitals in Ireland have been running without internet now for over a month. And it's one of those things that just shows that people sometimes might dismiss ransomware and cyber attacks as, oh look, it's just encrypting virtual files in an office space. What does it matter? But fundamentally, as we've seen over the course of the last few weeks, especially, this is disruptive to everyday lives. When people can't get the healthcare they need in hospitals, when x-rays are disrupted, when maternity services are disrupted because of ransomware, it shows that it is a problem. And ransomware attackers are continuing to launch ransomware attacks because victims keep paying. I said in the case of the Irish healthcare service, they haven't paid, but there are plenty of hospitals around the world which have paid because they have seen this as, we need our systems online in order to carry out our services, especially during a pandemic. So it's essentially the easiest way for cyber criminals to make money from a compromised network. Maybe in the past they would try and just outright sell that data online, but that could take months to make money from it. With ransomware, you can say, hey, give me $5 million or we'll give you your data back. A lot of companies are seeing that and going, okay, we'll pay.
All right, Danny, thanks for being with us, of course, again here today for much more on cybersecurity, ransomware, what you need to know. Make sure you stick with ZDNet. Thanks for watching.